This is the class lesson for section 4.1, part 1, linear functions. Let's begin with number 1. If f of x is a linear function and 0, 9, and 7, 2 are points on the line, find the slope. Is the function increasing or decreasing? So what we want to first do is go ahead and write these points down, and I like to label them point 1 and point 2. Then we can go ahead and find the slope. The slope is how do the y values change divided by how do the x values change. Okay, so we're going to start with part 2. This is delta y over delta x, the change in y. So we will have 2 minus 9 divided by 7 minus 0. We end up with a negative 7 over 7, and that's a negative 1. Now, then it asks us, is the function increasing or decreasing? F of x is decreasing since the slope is negative. If that slope would have been positive, f of x would have been increasing. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at number 2. The population of a deer ranch increased from 458 to 758 between the years of 2014 and 2020. Find the change of population per year. That's what we want, the change in population per year, if we assume that the change was constant from 2014 to 2020. That means the slope will be constant. So that change is the slope. That's what they're talking about. So I like to, again, write our coordinates down. So we have in 2014, the deer population was 458 on this specific ranch. And in 2020, the population was 758. So that change in population per year is going to be equal to the slope. So let's label this point 1 and label this point 2. We'll begin with 758 minus 458 divided by 2020 minus 2014. So as you can see here, we have 300 is the difference in population, and then divided by 6. And that's equal to 50. So 50 deer per year. And that is what the change in population was over time per year. Okay, let's go ahead and look. And that change is positive because the population increased. So we expected the change to be positive. Okay, let's look at number 3. Identify graphs 1, 2, and that should be 3 and 4 with choices A through D below. So let's go ahead and look at graph 1. So we know we have a positive slope, so we can throw out H, and we also have a y-intercept of 3. So it should be plus 3 at the end. So now we have a choice between A and D. Is the slope 2 or 1/2? Let's just go from point to point. So we're going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So that is definitely slope 2. So graph 1 is A. let's go ahead and look at the next graph. In the next graph, graph 2 is right here, and that has a positive slope, so we can throw out C, and also it has a y-intercept of 3, so we can throw out B. We've already chosen A, and we know what that slope looks like. It was much steeper than that, so we will assume this is the answer, but let's check the slope. Up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. That is definitely 1/2. So that is choice D. Okay, let's go to the third graph, Roman numeral 3. And now we see that that y-intercept is -3. We only have one choice with a -3. Let's check this slope though and make sure it's 2. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. It is definitely B. Okay. And then let's go to Roman numeral 4's graph, which is right here. And we have a negative slope, and there was only one that has a negative slope. And let's go ahead and check that negative slope. Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Definitely a negative slope, and its y-intercept is 3. So we are sure about Roman numeral 4 being the function in choice C. Okay. Last, let's go ahead and take a look at these sets of lines. If you notice, we need to state which ones are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. We'll start here. You can see that these lines have the same slope. In fact, this example, the slope is 0 for both of them. So I'm just going to write same slope. We weren't asked to state what that was, and it could be just very, very small. So these lines are parallel. Now, as you can see, there's a little 90-degree notation here, symbol here. So these are definitely perpendicular lines. And these lines just intersect. So these are neither perpendicular nor parallel. And that concludes